you.
Yes.
Yeah,
Another
great,
one.
great. We're joined here again by my good friend, Mr. David Reddick of City of Anniston.
Yes, sir.
You were born and raised in west side of
West Anderson.
West Anderson. And just tell us a little something about you and everything. So a lot of people know of you, they really don't know you, but tell the community about yourself.
Well, one thing about me is my parents took time to make sure we understood. One is the adversity that we had to go through in life, and two is how to make it through a struggle. I remember my dad telling me the story before I was even born of how he and my mother were almost lynched because they were one of the first minority marriages in the city of Anniston. And this is in the mid-70s, so it's not that long ago. But you know, if it hadn't been for organizations like the NAACP in the Anniston area, I probably wouldn't be here today. So I'm deeply ingrained in my history and the importance of us having every opportunity and the total knowledge of what we need to make this city great.
Amen, amen. And what are some of your biggest challenges that you want to have done in Ward 2? What things you want to see done?
I like to see my wards be stood up for. I don't like that. Sometimes, you know, Ward 2 gets it last. After Ward 3 gets whatever, and then Ward 4, and then Ward 1, and finally Ward 2. I don't think we should be the last people to receive anything. I think that, you know, we should have the right leadership and the strong leadership and the intelligent leadership to make sure that the choices being made for Ward 2 are the right choices.
Right, and not let other people influence people to make a decision. In other words, that's what you're trying to say. Okay. And also on some of your platform, also to get out the vote. I know you're interested in that. You know, trying to register people to vote. Tell me something about that.
Yes, I'd love to see more people come out and vote. Currently, we have close to 4,000 people registered in Ward 2 alone, but we only have about 1,000 people actually show up to vote. I would love to see 2,500 people come out and vote. I've been talking to the local pastors and business owners, and I'm trying to make it a big push that we get 2,500 people to come out and vote in this election on August the 26th, because I believe that a voting community is an enlightened community. An enlightened community is an empowered community, and empowered people empower people.
Amen, amen. And you know, I was intrigued. I heard you speak at a event that you was talking to a group of people about some things concerning Ward 2 and the city of Anniston. But I think a lot of things is going on because a lot of people just don't care. You see what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
A lot of people just don't care. They'll go with the quota, whatever goes. But now that, you know, we have young black leadership coming up in leadership now, that either they're gonna hold on to the baton, or they need to pass it on, or they need to drop it. And that's how I feel about it. And you know, people need to step up to the plate a little bit more concerning us. And I appreciate what you're talking about, because that's very important, that people need to know that we're soon to forget about the past, you know, and people every day sort of reminds us about the past. So go ahead.
And I agree with you. I think that the apathy that we face is a serious issue, and we can't afford to not be involved. We can't afford this apathy anymore, because before I moved back to Anniston, I was involved in a college in California, and I took on a position as the vice president of their African American Student Union. And once I took this position, I realized that most of the blacks in this college weren't really involved in the program, and nobody really cared what was going to happen. I found out this program was a week away from losing its charter. It hadn't been funded in years, and nobody cared. And what I had to do is I had to go out and I had to challenge those people. I got people involved, And when the blacks wouldn't get involved, I went and got the Latino community, I got the Asian community, I got the white community. I got everybody I could involved until I created synergy and I created energy. And because of that synergy that was created, the blacks got up, got involved, and right now the Black Student Union in that area is a powerful force again. We left in one semester going from almost losing our charter to becoming one of the most powerful organizations in that college.
Right. And let me ask you a question. This is an off-the-wall question because people talk, people sit in their homes and, they watch the television and, they look at your hair. And just describe what is it? And is it dread? Or is it plaited? Or just describe your hair to me.
My hair is dreadlocks.
Dreadlocks, okay.
And the reason I did this is, we look at dreads and this is a new age and a new era, but the reason I grow my hair is because I made a promise and I made a decision, and the Levites, the Levitical priesthood, would make a vow with God, and once they made that vow with God, they would vow to never put a razor to their head.
Okay.
And that would remind them that they belong to God, that they made a promise. I made a vow, not as in-depth as that, but I made a vow that I dedicated my life towards helping people. Okay. And because I dedicated my life towards helping people, I decided that until I saw the change that I know I'm dedicated and I know I've given my life to see, until I began to see that change, I was going to allow my hair to grow as a reminder to me every day that my life is no longer for me anymore. My life is dedicated towards helping others. So my hair is actually a vow between me and God until I see the change that I know God has put me on this earth for.
Amen. I like that. And see, that really cleared up a lot of things. See, it's good to have a good dialogue.
Thank you.
And we want to thank you so much for joining us on the Anderson Funeral Service Gospel Show.
Thank you for having me.
And because it's so important, like I said earlier, to get the young voice out. And, some of the elderly, they need to understand, they need to, like I said earlier, you need to pass the baton on or drop it somewhere or just move on. I mean, just being real with it. Because we have a lot of people stopping progress in this city. And it's time out for that. We have some great people here in the city of Anderson ready to move to the next level. But we can't move to the next level when you have people blocking and stopping progress.
And also, it's like the children of Israel, when they moved out of bondage and when they moved out of slavery, they had to move into the wilderness.
Okay.
They had to fight and they had to struggle to get to that wilderness situation. It wasn't a comfortable position and it wasn't a situation, but it wasn't until their kids and their youth grew up and took their position and that took them into the promised land.
Right.
It's time. We can't discredit what the older generation has done for us.
Right.
Because had not they made the decisions that they made, we wouldn't be where we are today.
Right.
But it's time for the youth, it's time for the younger generation, it's time for the people my age and younger to get up and say, I will take my leadership position and I will take my leadership role and we will move Anderson into the promised land because it's time to see our promise, it's time to see our destiny, and it's time that we became the change we want to see in Anderson.
Amen. Well, you sound like a preacher. Hey, but again, we want to thank you so much for coming on. And at this time, we're finna go to another great selection. Amen. Amen.